Hey guys, it's Mina Q, and we are back with another Love is Blind recap and review. We are on season 7, episode 7. We are in it. It's deep, and I can't wait to talk about this episode. But first, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel because, as you know, I do way more than Love is Blind reviews here, and you can have fun and be comfortable. So let's get into it. But now let's get back to Love is Blind. All right, this episode was the Mexico date episode, so they go on a lot of fun adventures and get to have like a little more time exploring who each other are. So where we last left off, Tim and Alex were having an issue that they never showed us on camera, but it definitely shook Tim to the point where he felt like, I don't know if I want to do this. Well, this episode, he does come back to the room. They decide to work on it, talk about it. They have a few moments where it seems again like Tim is giving Alex a little bit of the ick in terms of not listening to her feelings, but they decide to work it out, and she seems happy that he's forgiven her, and they're trying to move forward. Ashley and Tyler are still taking their relationship one step at a time, really just communicating, having fun, just keeping it very light, but also respectful. So they had a very fun date, and we all looked like, yeah, I think this couple is gonna make it. And as far as this season, it really seems like Ashley and Tyler and Taylor and Garrett are the two couples that seem the most compatible and the strongest, at least right now. And it's really nice watching their relationship be healthy. We love a black goals couple. We love a couple that is actually like taking the time to grow and not making everything about like, oh, have we slept together? Oh, are we doing this? It's about a future for them. So I'm really happy to see their growth. Speaking of Taylor and Garrett, they decided to get a little deeper into their personal lives outside of the pods now that everyone has their cell phones back and all of their devices. And we know that usually brings a little spice on Love is Blind. As soon as they get them phones back, baby, something's gonna happen. But in this episode, they decide to look at each other's Instagram, and he's just kind of like, hey man, all I do is go fishing and go to work. I don't do very much. My Instagram's full of fish. And that's exactly what it was. She finds it very cute and very sweet. And it's also a nice little personal side of him that we get to see his personality. Like, he likes to fish and he loves these big fish, and that's really cute of them. So they have that little moment and enjoy that time together. Hannah and Nick are still a hot mess on wheels. I mean, Hannah does not like Nick. She doesn't like him. She doesn't like him. You don't like him. You don't like him. I don't understand. I don't know who needs to tell her. She does not like Nick. And Nick is seeming like he's just trying to stay in this situation and trying to love her through all of these really random and innocuous things that she brings up about who he is, how he is. I mean, he is a young guy and she is a young girl. They're the youngest couple on the show. And he was in the NFL. He doesn't have his own home. He doesn't have a few things like that. But he was very upfront about what his life looks like and how that has affected him. And for whatever reason, she just takes issue with his age, how he shows up. She feels like he's very immature. And honestly, he is a young, fun-loving guy. And she seems like she wants maybe an older sugar daddy type man because she's kind of nitpicking at things that he already said to her. So, babe, you're here. You're here. Shut up. Hannah's getting on my nerves. She's getting on my nerves. I used to like Hannah in the pods, and now that we're seeing all these insecurities and just the way she talks to him and how it's just so focused on what she can't deal with in her life, baby, I'm done. If I was Nick, I'll be done. I'd be like, I'm done. I don't want it. I don't want it. So they're still dragging each other through this relationship, and we're going to see what happens with them, but I do not believe in it. I don't believe in this relationship. Not at all. I didn't believe in it in the beginning. I don't believe in it now. I stand 10 toes on that. Ramses and Melissa have a little dinner at home, and it's very like cute and cozy. He cooks for her, and apparently the food isn't all the way up to par, but they still eat it and are having a great night. And their conversation turns to her background with the military because, of course, we're going to have a military talk when it comes to Marissa, but this was actually one that I really did enjoy and I thought was very important just culturally and just for people to see and understand. And she basically goes into how being a part of the military was just a part of her family, her history, and it was something that she did because she felt like, hey, everyone in my family has done this, and I want opportunities to go to school and things like that. And she signed up and felt like maybe she didn't really know what she was getting into. And upon being in it, was like, man, like there's a lot of like things that we do in the military that I can't necessarily stand 10 toes on, but I don't regret this opportunity because it let me go to school. It took care of me financially, and she wants to be a lawyer. It's helped her out in so many different ways. But she is just kind of in a weird space about that entire situation. Now, Ramses isn't. Ramses does not like her military background. He's very clear on that. He never says that in a rude or disrespectful kind of a way, but he does let her know that, hey, I've seen this be a problem for people in my country. I've seen this be a problem for people everywhere. I don't really understand the military, industrial complex. I don't know why they move the way they do. And I feel like it's really harmful to a lot of people. And that's why America is so strong. And they're having this conversation, but in a very respectful way. But obviously, even having it in a respectful way, Marissa starts to feel a little bit like, oh, I feel bad. I feel guilty. I'm feeling all of these feelings that you can see in her physical being like, oh, this is a tough conversation for her to have. And he's very like understanding, is like, hey, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I don't really rock with that. I love you. And, if you're going to go back to that life or ever be back in the military, we would not be able to be together. That's just like a non-negotiable for him. That's something that he's not ready to do or willing to do. And she's a little kind of hurt and taken aback by it, but also understanding that this is his position and has been his position. And I'm just interested to see how this is going to work out, because clearly the military is a big, big part of her life, a big part of the conversation she had in the pods. And I'm wondering how much they talked about the military in the pods, because she did a lot of that with Bodan. Not so much that I remember with Ramses. So I guess we'll see if this is something that is going to make or break their relationship. They both have very, very strong feelings around it. And aside from their physical connections and just how they've been moving, this seems to be something that could definitely make a relationship very difficult to withstand. Monica and Steven. Monica and Steven. Monica and Steven. So everyone else was having these really great, cute dates, and Monica and Steven they just can't. They just can't. They are like the older Nick and Hannah to me. But anyways, Monica and Steven are on their little date, and it seems like things are going well, but it's never really going well. I really feel like we've seen a very, very different side of Monica outside the pods, even though I thought she was a little cuckoo banana in the pods. But now it's really taking it to another level. I feel like she's showing up in such a drastically different way that what I didn't like then seems small compared to the things that I don't like now. And they're having a conversation where she basically brings up how in the pods, they had discussed the fact that he said he would bring her flowers all the time, and here they are in Mexico and no flowers. Baby, you in Mexico. You in Mexico on a vacation. You worried about getting some flowers right now. You are on a free vacation in Mexico. Relax. Relax. Y'all haven't even made it back stateside. You worried about flowers? There's a whole beach in front of you. You're drinking free drinks in a beautiful room with a man that you apparently want to be with, and you're worried about flowers. Something ain't right. That's a sickness. That's a sickness for you to be worried about some flowers right now, and y'all haven't even gotten home yet. So she makes this whole big deal about flowers, and not just the fact that she wants the flowers, but the fact that getting gifts is her third love language. Your third. So I'm supposed to prioritize your first love language and your second and third. Baby, relax. Please chill. I can't with this girl. I can't with this. Nobody is over here talking about how their third love language isn't getting met. You need to talk to somebody about that. Not Steven. Talk to somebody else, a professional. And then the conversation goes into the fact that like she would never want him to, not do like gifts for her. She likes gifts and things like that. And he's like, I'm not saying like, I wouldn't come back with like a Kate Spade bag for you. And she's like, Kate Spade? Kate Spade, baby, no. Maybe like a YSL bag or Louis Vuitton. He's like, who is Louis Vuitton? Who is Louis Vuitton? It doesn't even matter. They're going back and forth in this ridiculous ridiculous conversation that doesn't even need to happen because they are on a free Mexican vacation. I can't make sense of it. Doesn't even matter. At the end of the day, it seems like Steven is getting a little bit overwhelmed with the fact that she needs so much constant reassurance, so much constant like love and gifts and acts of all of these things that it's like, can we just be okay for a day? Can you please be okay for a day? Pick one. Today would be nice. Either way, he takes it all in stride. He definitely looks like he's ready to break down in tears over the situation, but they get through it nonetheless. Now, there is a really, really weird moment where Steven brings up to, I believe it was Garrett, how at some point in this situation, they might be approached by a woman who wants to give them fellatio because they are celebrities, and that's just something they're going to have to deal with now that their life has changed. Steven, what are you talking about? Why is that even on your mind right now? What is even going on? These two people do not need to be together, and these two people need to find separate therapists. That's my professional opinion. Somebody needs to talk to them because neither one of them are wrapped too tight. Not at this point. Not the way the edit is making it look, but a lot of these words are coming directly out of their mouths. So we'll see. I don't think they're going to make it. I'll say it again. I just don't see how this relationship works. You know my top two. I'd love to hear yours. Thank you for joining me on this Love is Blind review of Season 7, Episode 7.